So this picture is my family. Now, these kids have never all been under the same roof at the same time, but that doesn't change the fact that they're all important parts of my family. See, my wife and I, over the past few years, we've fostered 13 children and ultimately adopted a group of 4 children. So what I just want to talk for a few minutes about is the inspiration that went into that, as well as the inspiration that comes out of it. So when I think about what got us to the point of wanting to do that, there are really 2 inspirations that come to mind. And the first one is religion. And I know that that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but to me it's something that is focused on meeting other people's needs and putting that ahead of your own, as opposed to being something that's divisive. Right? So there's a Bible verse that says in part that pure religion is taking care of orphans in their distress. Right? And that word orphan kind of sounds strange, I think, to a lot of us, because we tend to think orphans are in third world countries, you know, packed away in orphanages and, you know, in far off places. But I think that that kind of grand image of that makes it very easy to say, you know what, that's for someone else to do. Right? But the important thing is really that there's an epidemic of orphans even in developed countries. I read recently that there are 500,000 kids in foster care in the US alone at any given time. And while that may not fit, you know, a traditional definition of what an orphan is, in reality they are for a time, because they can't be with their family, whether it's a week or a couple weeks or, you know, maybe a year or maybe never. So that's just something that was, you know, just kind of really struck my wife and I. And, you know, we were fortunate to kind of see another example of this in action, where we knew someone who we would always see them pushing around strollers with really, really tiny infants. And we got to know this person and found out that they were providing foster care for these little babies that were born drug addicted, and, you know, their mothers either couldn't or wouldn't take care of them. So that kind of made it very real to us that, you know what, these are real children, this stuff really happens, and somebody has to do something about it. So once we felt like our kids were old enough to kind of understand this and were willing to, you know, share their toys in their rooms and things like that, you know, we went through the process. So we went through the training, went through the process of getting our house ready, and then the floodgates opened. We pretty quickly got a call and had these 3 little girls come into our care, and they were 3, 4, and 8 years old. And it was pretty shocking, I think, for us almost as much as them. Because they came in, they were, of course they were scared, they didn't know where they were going. You know, obviously things had gone very badly at home for them to be at the point of being taken out. Just very disheveled, you know, wearing clothes that don't fit, you know, diapers that were clearly way too old, and they had come out of a terrible situation. And, you know, it really struck us because shortly after they got to our house, first of all, they show up basically with a trash bag with food things in it. So if you could picture that for a moment, that whatever is going on in these kids' homes, they're at a point where police or whoever shows up has to take them away from everything they know, and you've got a couple minutes to put what's important to you in a trash bag and take it away. So that really struck us, you know, and there's a lot of difficult things to deal with. You know, a lot of times these kids don't have the medical care they need, you know, so we get doctor's appointments set up. They don't have dental care that they need. You know, I think the worst that we saw was one little child came to us and had 11 cavities, needed 8 teeth pulled. You know, so you see a lot of these things that are just basic care to us that you don't realize that, you know, even as comfortably as we live for the most part, that this is reality for a lot of people. So it's heartbreaking. But you know, the neat thing is, even through all this stuff, you know, these kids are incredibly inspiring to us. You know, it's amazing once kids get just basic care. You know, they know they're safe, they know everything's okay, they know they'll be fed. They are so resilient, it's incredible. Right? So it's, even as tough as it can be to deal with all this stuff, it's really rewarding to see kids all of a sudden getting healthy and growing up through several sizes of clothing very quickly. And, you know, starting to catch up in school. You know, because a lot of the kids, you're coming from a tough situation, school's really not a priority. But the cool thing is, you know, if you work with the schools and get them extra help and services they need, that kind of thing stays with them no matter where they go. So no matter how long you have them, you can still make essentially lifelong change to help them out. So we got our story overall. You know, we dealt with kids that were anywhere from a year old to 14 years old. You know, a wide variety of situations. You know, sometimes they came and there was just a little bit of neglect going on, and parents got things in order. They went home and it was great. You know, sometimes it's very tough to see kids go back to tough situations. You know, it's difficult, but you can still know that you did a lot to help out while you could. So, actually, it's kind of the main thing I just really want to convey is that, you know, there is a big need out there, and for, you know, people who take kids into their home, that's awesome. But even if you don't do that, there are a lot of ways you can still help out. Some things just as simple as, you know, doing some babysitting for somebody who's providing care, or providing meals here and there, or something like donating clothing or diapers, or something like a small duffel bag or a suitcase or something, so kids don't have to carry around what's important to them in a trash bag. You know, so I guess that's really my challenge, is that, you know, there's a lot of this need around, whether you realize it or not, and I would encourage you to get involved. Thank you.